the Honorable Bryan is using his company, the Rock City Hotel Limited, to purchase 60% of these shares. I have always held the view that public officials, particularly ministers of state, members of parliament, should not partake in such transactions because it smacks of conflict of interest, it smacks of abuse of power. You bring your influence because you are holding public office to bear. And I cannot see how the procurement processes, when you have these politically exposed participants, how the procurement processes would not be skewed to favor them. Now, in this instance, I have incontrovertible evidence that the processes were not fair, due process was not followed. Indeed, if you look at letters I have submitted to chraj from the lawyers of the minority shareholders at the Ridge Royal Hotel, they insist that the shareholders' agreement was not followed, there was no shareholders' meeting, and that SSNIT went ahead without their consent to advertise and to engage Rock City, indeed, to offer these hotels to Rock City on their blind side. That cannot be fair. That cannot be a level playing field. That cannot be due process. That cannot be respect for the procurement laws of Ghana. And you will recall that 16 years ago, I went to court when the Honorable Jake Obechebe Lamte decided to purchase his official bungalow. So it's a matter of principle, and I am being consistent. I have always maintained that it is not right, it is not ethical, it is not proper, it is reprehensible, it is condemnable. There is no jurisdiction that values good governance, that eschews conflict of interest, that eschews abuse of power, that will tolerate this kind of conduct. So I am calling on chraj to take immediate steps. I took this same position against the Honorable Jacob Echebe Lamte, and I'm taking this same position against the Honorable Bryan Achampong. Let me also add, for emphasis, that there are other breaches I have identified. If you look at our Constitution, you pay regard to our Constitution, Article 78 and Article 98 of our Constitution, it's very clear that members of Parliament and ministers of state who seek to hold office of profit, who want to engage in profitable ventures, who want to do business, must apply to the committee of members holding office of profit, and that committee will then submit the case that you make, because the Constitution is concerned, the framers of the Constitution are concerned that, look, in the name of business, I'm a businessman. As for me, I'm an entrepreneur. You could have a conflict of interest situation and there will be no level playing field. You are sitting in cabinet, you are sitting at your ministry, you are the one taking this decision, you have insider information. How can others compete with you? How can there be level playing field? So in the wisdom of the drafters of the Constitution, they said that to be sure that there will be no conflict of interest, workers' pensions. Recently, you also saw the ILO report that if care is not taken in a few years, SSNIT will not be able to pay workers' pensions. So the few profitable entities you have, why not take good care of it, maintain your interest? Why are you divesting 60%? If you take a hotel like Labadi Beach Hotel, only last year, they paid a dividend of 25 million Ghana cedis to the government. The year before, they paid 10 million cedis in dividends to the government. How many entities are being so well run. How many government entities? So a very profitable entity like Labadi Beach Hotel, why are you selling it? I have obtained the financial performance report of Ridge Royal Hotel. And it also reveals that Ridge Royal Hotel is another profitable venture, doing good business, making returns on the investments of workers. Why are they selling Ridge Royal? So, I mean, who took that policy decision? Is it because it is profitable? So let us find a crony and sell it to them. This is clear state capture. The second major concern I have is that if you look at the arrangement, Bryan is going to have controlling shares, and he will dictate the strategic direction of these 6 hotels. That means that the current workers, thousands of workers who work in these hotels, could lose their jobs because he now controls the hotels. He is going to decide who works, who goes home, who loses their jobs. At a time that unemployment is at an all-time high, 14.7%. Many people are being laid off. The few government assets, state assets, that are doing well, engaging workers, we are jeopardizing the conditions of our workers. So when you look at this transaction from all angles, from the good governance angle, the transparency angle, you look at it in terms of the economics, in terms of the conditions of workers, the fate of workers. This deal stinks to the high heavens. It is not in the national interest. It will not benefit the Ghanaian people. And the earlier this whole transaction is aborted, the better. And you see, I want to make a final passionate appeal to His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It is President Akufo-Addo who told us when he became president that he has told his people that if you want to make money, don't come and serve in my government. My government is not for business. My government is not for making money. If you want to make money, stay in the private sector. So what happened to this pledge of the president and this directive he told us that he has given his men and women? How is it that those in government are engaged in these very offensive and absolutely unhelpful business transactions, which are inimical to the economic fortunes of our country and inimical to the forward march of our country? What happened to that president's pledge? Now his people are not making money in the private sector. They are coming into government and they are grabbing for themselves strategic state assets. This is not acceptable. This state capture cannot be tolerated. So I call on the president to remember his own pledge to Ghanaians, to the sovereign people of this nation, and order his appointees. Those who are selling as SSNIT, they are all his appointees. Those who are buying, the Honorable Bryan who is buying, his appointee, he should ask them to back off. These hotels have served us well for more than 30 years. Every government comes and supports, helps these hotels to stay on their feet, to create jobs, and to improve the welfare of workers and then the well-being of our economy. The president should immediately step in. He shouldn't even wait for the outcome of chraj, because I know that the outcome will be damning. The evidence is overwhelming. And I don't see how the government is going to come out of this clear case of conflict of interest, abuse of power, graft, state capture. I don't see how they're going to come out of this. So the earlier the president puts his foot down and remember his pledge to the Ghanaian people that his people will not engage in business, in state capture, that they will protect national assets in their care, he should step in and call his appointees to order. That is what we expect the president to do in this matter. But I can assure you that we are going to follow this petition to its logical conclusion, and I will urge chraj to be bold and fearless and carry out their investigations according to their constitutional mandate in a very timely manner, because time is of the essence. They want to finalize this deal. They gave the minority shareholders at Ridge Oil 45 days, which has lapsed. It lapsed on the 12th of May, so we don't have time. We expect chraj to make sure that they save these 6 hotels and save Ghanaian workers. This offensive deal cannot be allowed to be finalized or consummated. I thank you very much.